Thank you everybody for joining us today. This is featuring GSU's 2026 STEM Week presentation named The Future of Learning is Here. And my name is Jose Clutterbuck, and this is Su-Xing Liu, Dr. Su-Xing Liu, and we're proud to talk about the changing environment when it comes to learning as a whole. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And this is also a showcase of my new platform called Ontora Academy, an AI-powered personal learning platform. So the main overarching theme of today's talk is really to explain how AI in its presence can be used not to replace us in the job market, as there are many legitimate concerns out there that it will. I say we use AI as a tool to make us that much more irreplaceable. So this is an attempt to use AI to do just that. And today's summary I'll be going through exactly what Ontora is. I'll be going through exactly why I did it and how I did it, and we'll get to see some live demos take place as well, and the future applications and potential for Ontora. So starting off, what exactly is Ontora? Again, an AI personalized learning platform, as well as it houses Luma, which is a AI tutor that is personalized to you, the individual learner. And this is a first look at the home page that you can see there. And going through my young adult life and early childhood, going through the schooling system, there were some things that I saw that could have been improved upon, and I'll touch more on that later. But the things that I really saw that could really be improved with the learning experience is, one, real-time feedback. So I have amazing professors, I've had amazing teachers in the past, but just sometimes there are times where you are not able to get feedback. Say it's the night right before the big test, and you have a question, but it's 12 o'clock at night, and you don't have access to your professor or your teacher. So I was able to solve that with Ontora by making Ontora accessible 24/7 and always ready to answer a question you have. Alignment with individual pace. So as we all know, a classroom can be thought of as a train, and it's going to move forward either way. And you might be ahead of the class, you might be behind the class, and I just don't think it's appropriate to have a room or a class with 30 plus students who are all on their own pace assigned to one pace of the class. So to align with the individual pace of everybody, again, as an individual, this was something that I wanted to solve, and this is something else that Ontora is also solves. Another big one is generated customized content. So when we do talk about a given course or class that students are taking, or common folk are taking, it is usually a one-size-fits-all approach. There is going to be a strict lesson plan that likely hasn't changed for many years, and that every single student that comes through every year is receiving. So it is very static and not dynamic, and not tailored to the individual. With Ontora, the content is generated based off of you as the learner and off of what you know at your current state of knowledge. And so it is generated in real time for you. And the last one, and there are many other improvements that Ontora has been able to make to the learning experience as a whole, but one of the other major ones is supporting genuine mastery. Like I said, whether you understand the topic or the lesson that is being taught or not, the class is still moving forward, and you either get an A or you get an F or you get somewhere in between. And so with Ontora, it won't move forward to the next lesson until you master the current lesson. So this was something that I really wanted to see, and this was a really big thing for me too. Growing up and all, I was able to see a lot of students be held back and have to retake courses because the course, didn't allow for them to master. Maybe they had challenges at home that allowed them to, have to stay behind. So these are only some improvements that I was able to build with Ontora. But again, you can access it from the web as well as from your mobile device. So you might be wondering, why exactly did I build Ontora? And as I said, of course, as everyone here has, I've gone through the entire schooling system from K through 12, and I had a first try at college as well before being here at Georgia State University. And a little bit of background about me. I was born in 2001 to my amazing mother, who is present with us today, who always moved mountains for me to ensure my well-being and my success. And life wasn't always as easy, as she was a single mother raising me, and we were moving around a lot. This is what life called for us at the time. And I was in and out of school districts a lot, and I was soft-spoken, usually the shortest kid in the class, and yeah, yep, relatable. And it was hard for me being shy and always new to the school to connect with my peers and my teachers. So I never really felt like I had a strong connection to any school that I was in, and to the overall school community. So fast forward to high school, my third week at the beginning of high school, I was walking down the stairwell, and right behind me, right after I had left the stairwell, it collapsed, and it had collapsed, and then what this means is that the school was actually falling apart, and there was another collapse a couple months later inside the school. The school had neglected reports of asbestos inside the school, which is supposed to be an extremely safe place for students to be. Luckily, nobody was injured, including myself. So, that's when I first realized that academic institutions are just as vulnerable as anything else to disruption and change. And then going through to my first year in my first college experience in 2019, and again, this was not Georgia State University, this was somewhere else. I was finally making friends. I said, I'm gonna make this a great experience, and I'm going to make a lot of friends, and I'm going to excel here at this school. And lo and behold, not even a full month or a full year after the start, COVID happens, and as no one could have expected, it did put a big halt in our careers as students and professionals. And so we were forced to go back home, and the school was forced to cease operations, of course, reasonably. And that was it. I was like, this is, school is not meant for me. I'm just gonna have to find a job from here on out and just try my luck in different things. But the real big kicker here in this experience that I first had with the previous college I was at was during that whole semester away, the spring of 2020, the college took advantage of me and my entire class by forcing us to pay room and board while we were not there. I remember specifically seeing the bill, and long story short, they were sued for millions of dollars for doing just that. And the school that I had really grown to trust and to trust with my education, and the school in which I was building a community, had just completely lost my trust at that moment in the snap of a second. So yeah, so I had, you know, some trust issues with previous academic institutions, and I'm happy to say I've been able to find that finally with Georgia State University. But you know, overall, there was a big lack of feedback growing up, just because maybe that was you know, I was just a shy student, so I never asked for help, and as a lot of students here are as well, and have experienced through their own history. Again, the lack of individual pace, so everybody is forced to move at the pace of the course. And again, the lack of customized content, the strict, static curriculum, and then the lack of mastery. So, you know, as many students here today, you know, have experienced, I've also experienced the difficulties and challenges that come with the conventional way that we learn today. And I am one of you, and I'm here to change that. So, time for a live demo. Which I'm very excited about. So, all right. So, this is your first look at Ontora, your personalized learning platform. So, again, Luma is the name of the tutor agent that will be guiding you throughout your learning journey. And let's see if someone can come up with a topic that we can give it. First, a name and a topic, because I would like to walk us through exactly what it is like to experience this tool, and you're more than welcome to scan it back when we get to the presentation or previously. So does anyone want to volunteer to give your name and some kind of topic? It can be, I want to learn about the history of the Roman Empire, or I want to learn about how to build a rocket engine, or I want to know about all the herbs, you know, that I'm growing in my garden here in Georgia. Literally anything, and it will teach you. But, you know, I'm going to input this and walk you through Luma's structure. So, let's say, hello, Luma. It's wonderful to meet you. What is your name? So this is the first step that Luma takes. It will prompt you to provide your name. After that, it will ask what you desire to learn about. So here, again, this can be general knowledge, or if you want to build a skill, either way, it will work with you. So I'm just going to give it something random. I'm going to say I want to learn about, let's see, the history of the Roman Empire. Okay. And after that, the next thing that it is prompted to do is it will ask reasoning behind wanting to learn this, whether it's for curiosity, or it's for a class, or for a project. It just wants to know the reason. So I'm going to say, I'm just curious. And it understood my typo, as you can see, not the best typer, but so now, once it knows what I want to learn and why I want to learn it, it's going to assess my knowledge and how much I already know about the Roman Empire to make sure that it's actually covering content that I don't know. So I'm going to just say I know nothing, so we can see that it can start from the beginning. So, are you ready? Yes, I'm ready for some questions. First question, what do you already know? I know nothing. Have you heard about major conflicts? No. No. Have you heard of any leaders? No. And it's designed to ask anywhere between 3 to 7 questions depending on the complexity of the topic that you've chosen. And now it assigns you a level of mastery for the topic. So it's assigned me as a beginner, and it chooses from beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And from here, it asks for your confirmation to move ahead and create your own personalized curriculum. And I'm going to say yes. Oh, okay. So here we created 4 separate modules. You can think of them as chapters in your learning journey, each filled with their own individual lessons. And now it prompts you to begin your learning journey. So we're starting at lesson 1.1. I'm going to say yes, and here it will now generate the explanation of the lesson. It will go through a worked example, and it will ask you, as far as the comprehension check goes, just to make sure if you know what's going on, and it will provide a visual aid to help you understand what it's talking about. So this is a standard format for a lesson. So again, it will start with the explanation of the concept, break it down for you, and then it will go through a worked example, and then it will ask you for your comprehension before it enters the quiz. So if you feel ready, if you feel like you have a good grasp of this, then you tell it you're ready for the quiz. If not, you say, I still don't understand this. It will go ahead and break it down for you again in an easier way so that you can understand it. And so, again, it goes back through to the comprehension check, and I'm going to say, okay, yes, I'm ready now. Let me ask you again, what do you think the story of Romulus symbolizes about values of early Roman society? So it is actually testing me right now, so let's see. I have to answer this correctly before we go to the quiz. And symbolize about the values of early Roman society. It is seen as a metaphor for sacrifices one may have to make for great achievements. Alright, it liked my response, so now it's going to proceed to the quiz. And it's generated a quiz of 5 questions. So I'm going to start with the first one and go to about 3 questions. Question 1, who were Romulus and Remus, and what is their significant mythology? I'm just going to skip through this and give it a wrong answer so we can see what happens. So it is now giving me the answer or rephrasing the instruction, and it is reteaching it to me again in hopefully a more clarifying way, and then it tries to ask you again until you get it correct. So again, this is what I was talking about, making sure you're mastering a given lesson before moving on for true mastery of the full concept. So I'm going to say there. So let's see. I'm just going to say they were the founders of Rome, and they're setting the story of what's the story reflects what it is. Okay. They liked my answer, so now it moves on to question 2. Where events led to Romulus becoming the sole founder of Rome. All right, I'm going to give it another wrong answer here, and it should just mark my question as incorrect. And again, if you score a certain grade, it will reteach the entire lesson to you and then re-quiz you. So you do have to definitely put effort in to make sure you're understanding the lesson.
How about we try another major questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it is time to try another major.
Yep.
So,
for example, the biology part, I have no idea.
yeah.
What is gene sequencing? Can you try it now?
Gene sequencing.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm in the beginning level, know nothing. This will show your power of your software in different majors.
Yep, so this is a great idea. And now this, I'm going to tell it, I want to learn all about gene sequencing, which is a more advanced topic. So now it will ask me for the name again. Now that it knows the name and what I want to learn, it asks me
Okay.
why.
Memorize your name. This can memorize your name.
It will memorize your name for a particular instance of the website. So if you reset your browser as of right now, it won't remember, but it will remember it through your individual chat that you have with it.
Good.
So I'm going to say curiosity. So I would complete my ultimate goal is to become a master of gene sequencing. All right, now it's prompting me for my current level of knowledge. What do you know about the basic concepts of genetics, such as DNA, genes, and chromosomes? Nothing at all. it's also it's a very warm tutor. So it's going to be warm, encouraging, and it's going to really be patient with you, which is something that I wish I was receiving when I was going through school. But here, we want to also say no. Nope. Studied biology, I knew that we talked before. So it's also designed to start from first principles. So that's very important as well. I'm assuming that you know a lot. That's why it tests you what you know already. So finally, do you have any specific application in gene sequencing that you find interesting? I find all of these interesting. I want to set myself up to enter these industries. Alright, so it's assessed me as a beginner in gene sequencing, and now I am going to say I am ready to start my learning path. Alright, so this is what it created. We have 3 modules again. First is Introduction to Genetics. There you go through the basics of what that is. Then you move on to techniques in gene sequencing with overviews and tools. And then finally analyzing DNA sequences. So by the end of it, you should have a very firm grasp of gene sequencing and actually have a skill and general knowledge that you can use to further advance your career.
Okay.
If that's what you choose to do.
Can you try another question?
Yeah.
That's related with the computer science.
Yes.
Yeah, that's challenge.
I was gonna say crypto.
Both are great topics.
Yes, you can try. Crypto, that one was good.
I need to learn. I would like to learn more.
All right. I'll go computer science and then I'll go crypto.
Okay.
Okay. Computer science, I only have 2 questions. Can you ask this software, who are you? How did you learn this knowledge?
So it will. It's instructed to. Oh, you want me to try?
Try.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a joke.
Oh, you want to see?
AI field,
You
so
wanna see?
everyone will see that.
Okay.
Since it's very patient and encouraging, I would like to know more about this learning agent.
Yep. First, I'm going to give it the topic, and then I will ask it that question.
Yeah.
So I want to learn about.
Computer science.
Do we have a specific sub-discipline within computer science we want to prompt it?
No, I
Okay.
only want to ask, who are you? How
Okay.
did you learn that? Yeah, I want to know you.
That's a good one.
So it's only instructed, as you'll see, to give you some information about it,
Okay.
but not everything. So now I'm going to ask it, who are you exactly?
Yes.
What else would you like to ask?
Let's go for this first. So let's see this response.
I'm Luma,
Friendly
friendly
tutor.
tutor here to guide you in your
Perfect.
journey. Designed to help you understand and explore subjects. I'd love to assist you in mastering the topic you're interested in. And then it does not deviate from its structure, so
Good.
which is very important for a public-facing education tool. So
How about if you're asking, where are you getting all this information from?
Yes.
let's ask that. Where are you getting all this information from?
Sometimes something I reply, I don't know why. So that's probably a fail. This is perfect.
I have access to a vast amount of information, concepts related to a wide range of subjects, including computer science. My goal is to present this knowledge in a way that's clear and helpful to you, so you can learn effectively.
Okay. Good. Wonderful.
And again, it is getting back on track, keeping the student focused
Like a
on
teacher.
what's next.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
like
a
an
teacher
expert,
would be like, okay, get back on.
like
Very
a
good.
professional.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. So that was a great question.
Yeah.
Those were great questions. See what yields.
Can we try with the crypto?
Yep. Let's learn about crypto real quick. And so, as you see, I'm refreshing the page to restart,
Me
but
too, me too.
you will, not before long, there will be user account compatibility so that you can store your chats and learn multiple things at once. But for now, this is version 1. So let's say I want to become a master when it comes to cryptocurrency. And you don't have to be as formal as I'm being with it.
You can just write the word cryptocurrency.
You can just write crypto with it.
Okay.
But just keep in mind, how you prompt it here is very important, and that will determine exactly the level of detail that it will enter with you. So that's where prompt engineering comes into play. You want to make sure that you yield the best results. So you want to be as specific as you possibly can when you're telling it what you want to learn. Just to keep in mind. Alright, it has an idea that I'm trying to make money with crypto. It gives me an emoji. Let's read it. Nice to meet you. Are you looking into trading?
Almost all of it.
Let's say I'm looking to go into investing in trading, but I also need a solid understanding of the deep concepts at play. My learning journey here is, the reason here is out of curiosity. And again, you tell it that I know nothing, no experience. So I've heard of Bitcoin, as most here have already. What do you think might be some advantages of crypto? Don't know. I just know that it's the future. Alright, so it has assessed me as a beginner again.
Okay.
So now let's move forward to curriculum. So it's created 3 modules. Again, the number of modules, the number of lessons are dependent upon the complexity of the topic. But now you can learn about, get a real solid understanding of the basics of cryptocurrency, actually getting started, setting up a wallet, how to buy and sell, and then finally more advanced topics. And then again from there, once you go through this entire curriculum, you prompt it again for further, more advanced understanding from there. So, yeah. And then I just want to see what it spits out for us for our lesson 1. And just so you know how this works a little bit when it comes to the pictures, they're either generated or they're fetched from the internet. So it's given us a visual to help us. But yeah, so, now, do any of you have any questions about the tool? If you do, just say so. But now, this has a lot of features built into it, a lot. as you can see, has gone into creating this kind of platform. And for those of you who want to understand a more technical overview of how this was built, the next few slides are for you. So, how did I build Ontora Academy exactly? So, this is a overarching logic overview of how it works, as any other input-output system with processing in the middle works. So first is the user request that you input to it. That's all of what we were just exploring, your name, what you want to learn, etc. And then the processing that takes place, there are multiple functions inside of software that are constantly assessing what the system prompt is and how it is supposed to behave. The curriculum memory, so this is something that AI can struggle with at times, is remembering the task at hand if you have a very long conversation with it. So I've actually made it possible to inject the curriculum back into the model every single time that you have another text with it. So it constantly remembers exactly what the curriculum is, and then of course what you talked about it with before. And then the output is, as you saw, it will give you a curriculum with explanations and images to serve as visual aids. So this is diving even deeper into the technical aspect of the tool. So long story short, you access the web page. From there, what you input to the web page will then be sent as a request to the server. The server will then, the server is what houses the main components of the application. And this is what decides on what to say, of course, but by the end of it, the server, which is housing the back-end Python program and the front-end web page, the server will then send a request to the AI model, and then from there, the AI model will send back the response token by token to the website, so you can see it in real time. And then this, again, is an optional pathway that sometimes happens, sometimes not, as dashed lines. And that is a general overview of the architecture. And the programming that went into this includes mainly HTML, CSS, JavaScript for the front end. That's what controls your user experience, all of the text, the display on your web page, and the overall interaction that you're having with it. And then the Python script is in the back. That is what is controlling the chat and the inner workings of the platform. And so, for those of you who, I mean, as we can all see now, you know, this is as you might be able to relate to me. I believe that this is, you know, a really significant tool. You know, there are a lot of applications that this technology can bring into reality from here on out. And as we all have seen and can guessed and have probably experienced in our day-to-day, there is a huge shift taking place right now in the way that we learn new information. So, for example, how many of you have skipped Google searches and gone to ChatGPT or Claude or Copilot? I mean, most here have, and this is only recently, within the last 2 to 3 years, and this is very big time when it comes to artificial intelligence, but the shift does run deeper than we might be able to see just right now. For one, learning cycles are compressing. So again, that's due to better mastery of topics, moving at your pace, and a system that's actually designed around the way that you learn and what you know. So again, compressing the learning cycle. And then finally, when it comes to certain applications that we can compare it to, there are already pre-existing applications out there that already are attempting to solve these challenges. And a couple of examples are Google's Notebook LM, which takes in a bunch of input files and it outputs anything that you want. It can be a presentation or a report. And then there's Khanmigo. Many have heard of Khan Academy before. Khanmigo is their, essentially it's a chatbot that is installed on Khan Academy, and again, it's personalized to them, but they also use a model similar to Ontora for their reasoning and their academic aids. But again, not many big players in this space. So another reason why I am very keen on this subject. And then finally, last but not least, the applications for Ontora. So first and foremost, we just saw how Ontora can aid an individual learner, whether you're a student or just at home, you want to learn something for fun. Or this can also serve as an aid to your class. Another application is for academic institutions. So institutions can partner with a platform such as Ontora to provide access to all of their students and have Luma integrated with all of their courses already. So it may be able to skip a lot of the prompting that comes into play, as you saw in the beginning of your conversation. Another application is for companies. Say you have a in-house learning environment for your employees to upskill. Well, now Ontora can take care of that, and it can power your in-house training modules that much more efficiently, and already be integrated with some of your operations that you choose to share with Luma for training purposes. So a lot of applications when it comes to individuals, institutions, and companies. And then the most exciting thing I believe that Ontora has the potential to create is new technologies such as knowledge quantification. This is something that not a lot of people have heard of before, but when it comes to what knowledge quantification is the computational representing of knowledge that can be measured, stored, analyzed, and made visible as if it were a tangible thing. So, which is a very, very unique and new concept. But knowledge quantification leads to other. So these pretty much stem from knowledge quantification. Continuous credentialing system. So what this means is that slowly over time, as the world adopts AI solutions in education, now degrees will slowly go away and a learner will have their own profile of skills and competencies that is constantly updating itself based on said person's knowledge state. So it would be way more accurate, and we all know the term, we've heard of, do we trust the doctor, or, do we know if a doctor had an A in his medicine classes or if he passed with a C? Either way, he's still a doctor. Now, this will lead to much more accurate results in what is actually competent with a certain professional, and advanced skill data and talent signaling. So this enables real-time maps of skills across the world, and so you can allocate and know exactly what skills are out there, what are being met, where there are gaps in the marketplace, and what people actually know, and that can help make decisions when it comes to hiring and who to choose for your open role. So, and even inside an organization, you could then use business intelligence of your own employees and be able to make recommendations and say, well, I think, John actually knows a lot more than what he's currently doing in this role. Let's move him up because, this very accurate credentialing system is giving us that information. So lots of exciting new technology will be coming from platforms like Ontora. So needless to say, I feel very positive about the future of education and learning as a whole, and I want to thank everybody for their time today. And finally, you can feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. I'd be more than happy to talk with you if you have further questions. And you can reach the site there. Be sure to visit it yourself on your browser or your mobile device and save it. And yeah, again, thank you all for coming.